Cole Law, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Shalom to House of David, 144,000, the Church of the Saints, and the 1/3 men, women, and children that are part of the elect of the 12 tribes of Israel. For you blacks, Latinos, Native Americans today. Basically, news came out that Fidel Castro passed away. He went to the spirit world. And it's heavy because this World War III is at the door. So going back to the Cuban Missile Crisis and the collapse of the Soviet Union, the SSR, and the Russian USSR in 1991. Basically the World War III was about to pop off back then. And Castro was anti-US. And that's the spirit because the World War III is at the door, I heard this Fidel Castro just passed away, so these are all signs, man. Everything is spiritual. He was against the U.S. Basically, Russia. There was a time with Russia, the World War III, the nukes were about to fly back then, but it wasn't time. You still had prophecies. You still had the mark of the beast that had to be implemented before all that, because the nuclear missiles is the end all be all. But basically, won't play this out. And it's heavy because this vibration of Russia, Germany, France. They're all getting ready for this Third World War, sending tanks. There hasn't been this much warship movement since the Cold War. And now Fidel Castro passed away, because the World War III is at the door, man. This Third World War is at the door. We're going to play this clip. It's the time of the times, man. It's all spiritual.
He sentido el momento histórico.
Cuba's leader Fidel Castro presided for almost 50 years as the charismatic leader of the Caribbean's largest island. He lived to see a day many thought would never come, the reopening of the American embassy in Havana for the first time in 54 years, followed by the historic visit of US President Barack Obama, after decades of hostilities between the two Cold War rivals. The seeds for that hostility were sown on January 1st, 1959, when Castro first grabbed international attention by leading a guerrilla campaign ousting right-wing Cuban dictator Fulgencio Batista. After claiming a victory in Havana, Castro launched a political, social, and economic revolution, transforming a country once known as the brothel of the Caribbean into a third world power, but one criticized for denying dissent. Castro's strong anti-US stance made him the target of several plots by Washington to topple him. These included an invasion attempt at Cuba's southern Bay of Pigs in 1961 by more than 1,000 Cuban exiles trained and financed by the CIA. In 1962, the Cuban Missile Crisis sparked a new
Just like what the United States are doing over there in the Middle East. Just like with ISIS, man. Because ISIS was trained by the United States military in Jordan. Basically Esau is the cause of all these problems, man, the four corners of the earth. They have the KGB, the CIA, the Mossad, Israeli intelligence, and they go around bringing the chaos, and then they bring their order, and they set up their presidents and their puppets throughout the world.
Of hostilities after Castro allowed the Soviet Union to build a missile base in Cuba. For 2 weeks at the height of the Cold War, the world held its breath as US President John F. Kennedy faced off with Soviet Premier Nikita Khrushchev. Tensions finally eased when Khrushchev announced he would dismantle the missile installations in Cuba. When the US cut diplomatic ties with Havana, Castro went ahead and forged a successful relationship.
And it's heavy because scriptures say, though they show peace and safety, then sudden destruction shall come. So right now you have Vladimir Putin and Trump. They're so-called cool, whatever the case may be. But no, we at the time we're entering into the last Trump, which is going to be those missiles flying off, because World War III is going to happen. It wasn't time then, but it's the time now. Revelations 11 and 14. The second war was past, and behold, the third war cometh quickly. Yeah, the World War II, right? The 40s. And now you're going to have World War III, which we're living in the time now. And here it is, Fidel Castro passed away, the commander. And that's spiritual, man, because Yahweh Shai, the commander, the King of Kings, Yahweh Shai, the man you call Jesus Christ, he's coming to bring war on this earth. The Third World War, he's brewing this up between Russia and the United States. There haven't been so much warships moving since the Cold War. So there's the spirit of the Cold War is out. And now that Fidel Castro is passed on, that spirit reviving. People are going to start remembering their minds of with Fidel Castro, how he was anti-US and the Bay of Pigs, the Cold War. And now we're living at the time of the Cold War, man. This is the time of the Third World War. Thus save the Lord. Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai.
With Moscow. But the Soviet collapse in 1991 hit Cuba hard. Angry Cubans took to the streets to protest shortages and power cuts.
The Soviet collapse, man. Lithuania, Armenia, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, all right? The Soviet Union that collapsed in 1991, the Lord's putting the hooks into Magog and Gog, Russia, man, to get back in that warlike spirit and destroy America. Armenia.
Castro responded to the crisis, reluctantly allowing limited private enterprise and legalizing the US dollar. But his arch enemy continued to be the United States. Tensions rose again in 1999, when then 5-year-old Cuban castaway Elian Gonzalez became the subject of an international custody battle in Miami. Castro launched a campaign for Gonzalez to be returned to his family in Cuba, while other relatives fought to keep him in the United States. And in 2000, the young boy was reunited with his father in Cuba. Concerns first rose over Castro's health in 2001 after he fainted at a mass rally. And in 2006, the longtime dictator, suffering from intestinal problems, handed over power to his brother, Raul Castro. His public appearances reduced after his illness, but highly publicized visits from ally and protege Venezuela's President Hugo Chavez silenced any rumors that the dictator had died. In 2014, Castro was photographed with Vladimir Putin during the Russian leader's visit to Havana in July.
Hey, that's spiritual, man. That's spiritual. Putin went to go see Castro. The Third World War is at the door. That spirit is getting revived. Ezekiel 38, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaw. Let me start at the top. And the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog. That's where Russia is today. That's Russia. The chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and prophesy against him. And say, thus saith the Lord God, Yahweh, Behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and I will turn thee back and pull hooks into thy jaw. Talking about the USSR that collapsed. And it collapsed in 1991. The Lord's putting the spirit into them Russians. That's why you have that whole shit over there with Georgia and all that. All that Lithuania. Russia's going to reclaim all that and they're going to unite. The USSR is going to unite. And now it's going to be the Third World War. Now it's time. And I will turn thee back and put thy hooks into thy jaws. And I will bring thee forth and all thine horses and horsemen. And all of them clothed with all sorts of armor. Even a great company with bucklers and shields. All of them handling swords. Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them, all of them with shield and helmet. Talk about them Persians, Iran. So they're going to, basically America wants to attack Iran. That's why you have this whole situation with Israel, right? They're in Iran. Basically, they have, they're basically circling Iran. They're basically encircling Iran right now, man. Afghanistan, Iraq, Yemen, and the United States wants Iran. And matter of fact, there's 3 countries that don't have a Federal Reserve banking system. It's Libya, North Korea, and Iran. And over here it says what? And read it again. Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya. So Iran and Libya don't have a Federal Reserve banking system. That's why they took down Gaddafi. Right? Because he wanted to put gold back into the currency, the dinar, the gold dinar. And they named him the King of Africa. And prior to him, they had Saddam Hussein, which he didn't want to deal with the EU. He wanted to put gold in the system. And these banksters, Esau, the Rothschilds, took them out. Then took Gaddafi out. And they wanted to get Ahmadinejad. But Russia's backing up Iran. Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them. And all of them with shield and helmet. And that's heavy because that's the times that we're living in, man. That's the times that we're living in, man. All these countries, Turkey, all these countries are getting together, man, to come against America, man. Even NATO is going to come against America. The mother of America, Britain's going to come against America. Gomer and all his bands, the House of Togomar, the North Quarters, and all his bands, and many people with them, be thou prepared and prepare thyself. Thou and thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. So Russia is going to be a guard unto them. And Russia, first of all, after World War II, half the scientists, German scientists, half of them went to the United States and half of them went to Russia. All right, so Russia, all they've been doing is building up their missiles. That's a warlike people, man. But here it is, America, they have women in the front lines, transgenders in the military. It's a fucking joke, man. Be thou prepared, prepare for thyself, and thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them, because Russia's going to be a guard unto Iran, because they have a lot of investments and money in Iran, and all them Arab countries. And they're going to come together. It's going to be a third world war. It's going to be nasty, man. They all going to unite and come against America, man. It's only going to be Israel and America against the world. After many days shall I be visited in the latter years that shall come into the land. That's basically the main point. That's basically the main point. Let me go to 10. Thus saith the Lord God, it shall come to pass that at that same time shall things come into thy mind, and thou shalt think an evil thought. That's the Russians shooting missiles over here. And thou shalt say, I will go up to the land of the unwalled villages, and I will go to them that are at rest, and that dwell safely. Because America never really had terrorist attack. That 9/11 was done by Esau, by his own government, man. All right, that was a false flag. And I will go to them that are at rest and dwell safely, and all of them dwelling without walls and having neither bars nor gates, to take a spoil, to take a prey, to turn thine hand upon the desolate places that are now inhabited, and the people that are gathered out of the nations which have gotten cattle and goods that dwell in the midst of the land. So them Russians actually, Most High is putting that spirit into the Russians to start contemplating and getting ready to shoot missiles on America. And here it is, Putin visited Castro. That's that spirit being revived again of the Cold War. The Cold War never went anywhere, man. And the USSR is going to unite. You know? All them countries that was part of the USSR is going to unite, man. The Lord's putting that hook into Magog and Gog, which is Russia, to shoot missiles in America.
And in September 2015, he was seen meeting with Pope Francis during the pontiff's historic trip to the island nation. The two men are said to have discussed religion and world affairs. Castro's legacy is likely to be debated by historians. He was hailed by admirers for promoting social reform and stamping a small country's mark on the world, but reviled by critics as a dictator who forced communism on a reluctant Cuba. Few, however, doubt Castro's political achievement in holding power since 1959, despite the opposition of 10 U.S. presidencies.
Yeah, and 10 means perfection too. 10 U.S. presidency, 10 means perfection, because America's going to be destroyed. We at that time, man. It's going to be perfectly destroyed. Completion. It's going to be completely destroyed. So 10, that's heavy. 10 presidencies, man. U.S. presidency. That's numerology too, man. We at the end of this thing, man. Kolo Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Death to America, man. And the real commander, Yahweh Shai. Alright? The real commander, he gonna bring this third world war. He's doing it now with this friction between Russia and the United States. Shalom to the house of David, 144,000, the church of the saints, and the 1/3 men, women, and children part of the elect. You know, Israel's gonna get the victory, man. Kwame Shala. Death to America.